All righty. So today we're going to be going through everything related to online reviews and your Google reviews, your Facebook reviews, basically just putting yourself in a better position with Google. That's going to translate into, more success with your marketing and, better cohesion with your team. I'm Alex Danner, the CEO of Fence and Deck Marketers. And just a couple more things, kind of as an outline of what we're going to be covering today. So we're going to be going through the tools that you can use to generate more reviews, but we're also going to be showing or explaining why having the best tools, all the best tools implemented with your company doesn't mean you're going to consistently get those 5-star reviews, but we will show you ways to fix that. And we're going to be talking about how you can tap into the multi-channel communications, how you can use email or SMS, actually talking to the customers. I know that's rare these days, or just talking to individuals instead of online. But ways you can do that to increase the review count, and how you can implement that to your team and kind of improve your team culture around actually getting these reviews. Because once everybody's on the same on the same page, they're gonna be more focused and be top of mind to go and find those reviews and get as many as you can, which will then benefit the whole team and the company as a whole. And then why you must acknowledge, respond to all good, bad, and indifferent reviews and kind of the effects of those. So let's get into it. Before I go into all the content, if you wouldn't mind just turning off your phone, your social media, if you're a fencing or decking business owner and you're serious about getting better results this year and going forward, because reviews aren't going anywhere, the next 45 to 60-ish minutes can take your business to a whole new level, and really just drive a lot more leads and lead to more sales and more money for the business. Okay, so who am I and why should you listen to me? So I am the owner and founder of Fence and Deck Marketers. It's a digital marketing agency that works exclusively with fencing and decking businesses. I've been doing digital marketing for a very long time. Been about 10 years now, and founded the company Fence and Deck Marketers for a couple of reasons. One of them was we were getting great results for this niche. Being more a generalist agency in the past, we were able to focus and find a niche that was getting good results and that we liked working with. And not only that, I do have a farm cabin in Pennsylvania. We actually have 300 acres of high deer fence. So it's 10 foot tall. And, that alone, putting that in was a lot of work, but trees are constantly falling into it and we're always having to fix it back up and all that fun stuff. So have a lot of respect for the industry. Anybody that's part of these two niches is, have a lot of respect for, because it's very backbreaking work, and appreciate everyone that does it. Okay, so as I explained, Fence and Deck Marketers only works with fencing and decking businesses. This is what we do. This is what our team does. We only work to accomplish the goals of these types of businesses. If you do have a business that works, you do fences, you do decks, but you also do other services, that's very common. That's not an issue. You just have to be doing one of these for us to work with you. If you are in another niche and you found this video, I can certainly help you find another agency that might be a better fit as well. But we're going to be talking about reviews today, but we also do website development. We do pay-per-click advertising. We do social media management. We do Facebook and Instagram ads. So it's a full service digital marketing agency if you have questions about those. All right. So why is it important to take control of your online reputation? There's lots of reasons. I'm sure you can think of a couple off the top of your head. But at the end of the day, like everything we do at digital marketing, it's about helping grow a business and get better reputation online, or better rankings with Google, or better reputation with Google. So you will generate more leads if you have better reviews. Google implements that in the ranking factors, which we will talk about. Also, it actually kind of drips down to also the conversion rates of your salespeople. So even though you might be thinking like reviews only influence the person that finds you on Google, and that kind of gives you the decision whether you want to move forward with that company or not. But They still have to call you for an estimate. And when it comes time to convert, that customer might have called multiple companies. And if you're the one that's clearly the leader and has hundreds of 5-star reviews, you're going to be, ahead of them in the game. So I'm going to be drinking coffee a little bit because allergies right now. Got to freshen up. So, all right, online reviews and your reputation online can really make or break your company. So if somebody's searching your company on Google, obviously they're going to see your reputation by looking at the reviews. And that's going to be the first thing they check, before they decide to call you. The company that gets, 3 reviews, maybe you'll get a call if you have no competition. Otherwise, you're going to be last resort kind of thing. You better hope that the competition has, is too booked up or something. But if they did find you, maybe a postcard or a sign, that's something we hear common and can work very well. That's great. That kind of gets the lead on the way, but they're still going to be searching for you before they come to the house. They're going to be looking up your business and making sure they see other people that had positive experiences. So if you just had terrible reviews, you may not even get a call. But if you do get bad reviews, which it happens, you don't want to have all 5-star reviews regardless, but you need to have some kind of response in place to some kind of system in place to respond to those, which we're going to talk about in a second. Okay, so this is a big one. So your online reputation doesn't reflect or have anything, it has something to do, but it doesn't reflect the quality of work you do. So we see this pretty often. Companies think, I provide the best service. I've been around for 40, 50, 100 years. We do everything perfectly, this kind of thing. And then you look online and the number one rank business they've never even heard of. This is very common. And the unfortunate thing is people can leave bad reviews. It could be from some jerk that you're not even sure who they are. You might think it's a competitor, somebody that just wasn't happy with the setup of the estimate. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because people are just going to be looking and judging a book by its cover every time. They're going to try to see, who sounds the best before they give a call, before they decide who they want to work with, or even who they want to ask to come get a lead. That's how I handle it, even, knowing being in this space. So they're going to be judging you by your reviews, your online assets, your website, your social media pages, all these different things you have to have, in place. So no matter if you are the best, say you're winning every every reward or trophy, whatever, at conferences for how good of a job you did. If you have bad reviews, it really doesn't matter because that's going to mean less customers. So you got to get those averages up. Okay, so some of you might be thinking, we've invested time already into these types of tools. Here's the list here, but you still aren't getting a review. You're not on top of your reviews. You're not getting enough of them. This is a common problem too. People think that these tools, like Birdeye, Nearby Now, Podium, you invest in these, it's going to kind of fix everything, and then it doesn't. So it's a big challenge, but put a 1 in the chat if you're currently using a review management tool. All right, so looks like we got a 1 there. So somebody is using a review management tool. That's great. We can talk about which one in a second. But put a 2 in the chat if it served all of your problems. Got rid of every review issue that you had. All right, so it said, Amelia said it did not. They are by far a better route than just not using anything at all. But they're not going to solve all your problems. We're going to show you exactly how you can implement systems to do that, though. So failure in reviews can translate to a failure in your business. Maybe not completely crushing your business, of course, but if you're not growing, you're failing. Or sorry, if you're not growing, that's the saying, if you're not growing, you're dying. And if you just have that big weight of 1-star reviews holding you down, or your average holding you down, it's not going to allow you to grow as fast as you want. So it's something that just has to be fixed. And if you kind of paint the picture, somebody's searching for a fencing or decking company in their area, and they see, your average is 3.5, and they see multiple that are in the 4s or 5. Who do you think they're going to choose? Who do you think is going to have the upper hand or their top choice right away? It's always going to be the highest review. The amount of reviews does weigh in, but the person that has a lot of reviews and a high review count is going to have the upper hand. I can promise you that's going to happen. So there's also a lot of people that will just leave bad reviews. And I have a funny story from another agency that I heard. So they had a client who had a customer who was very unsatisfied with the service that they received, and they left him a terrible review. Nothing new there. But they tried to get the Google listing removed, couldn't do that. And then they actually tried deleting the Google listing and coming back. And that customer actually found them, left another bad review, found them on Yelp, Facebook, and left bad reviews basically anywhere they could find them. And this happened just for years. So you got to be paying attention to those reviews and on top of them and trying to get them removed any way you can. But some people just want to watch the world burn, I guess, and will take any chance to harm a small business. They don't really go out of their way to harm these very big businesses, much more established businesses, but for some reason, people tend to pick on small businesses much more easily. Not only or some of the things, I guess, where bad reviews can help can drag down too, is just every form of marketing you're doing too. So, having a good review, a perfect website, it's going to be affected if they have bad reviews, because eventually they're going to find your Google listing and check that. It's also going to drag down your salespeople, which I'll explain in a second. Okay, so all this is an opportunity, because especially fencing and decking, this is not perfect. Most businesses are doing a great job. So it's an opportunity to be better than them. And it allows you to be the provider of choice in your service area and stand out from all these competitors. And I'm going to show you a couple ways, get into the real nitty-gritty details of this. So going to go back to the tools here. These are a couple that you can use, and you still want to leverage them, even though they're not everything. They're not going to solve all your problems. You do want to leverage them. If you are using one, I got one response. Type the name of the tool that you're using in the chat. So while I wait to see if anybody responds to that, these different tools, there's a lot of different options: Podium, Birdeye, Nearby Now, Review Buzz, and those are some of the more popular ones. And if you do use these tools, it's going to help automate the whole process. You can implement it with your CRM and send out these reviews. Send out the links to the reviews. So send out emails or text messages, anything to get them to respond. And it's going to be a lot easier than just sending it out an email. If you're just sending out one email saying, can you send me a review? More than likely, they're just never going to do it. So you got to send text, multiple types of messages, and follow up. So in the end, you want to have your reputation speak for itself online. So put everybody in the right position from the start when the salesperson comes out, because people do buy from people they know, they like, and trust. And right now, in this current state, in the world, everybody's trained to look at reviews. So think about the last time you ordered on Amazon. Did you check out the reviews? I hope you did. It's something that most people will do. I do it every time. And I don't know if you noticed this, something I noticed, it seems like every product has 4 stars or more on Amazon. I guess that's by design. Um, you see that they have 4 out of 5, and you go click, and then the first like 5 reviews are 1 star, telling how terrible the product is. So I guess it's like on Amazon, 4 stars is like 1 star. Um, so be careful of that. But point being, if I see that, I'm going to be moving on to the next product, and that's exactly what will happen with fencing and decking. If they see a bunch of bad 1 star reviews, they're just going to move on to the competitor. And of course, you don't want that. So got to get those reviews in shape. Okay, so we know that online reviews matter, but do they matter that much? And having that many and consistently getting more. So drop a 1 in the chat if you think reviews are important. Drop a 2 in the chat if you think they don't matter and you aren't sure why you're here and you were forced to attend by your boss. Drop a 3 if you think as long as you have enough, you're good and don't need more. So maybe you have a bunch and you don't need more, you're just good to go. So got a couple 1s. So of course, I know that's a pretty obvious one, but some people do think, if you have a certain amount of reviews, you might have enough and you don't need to get more. You can still be successful, if your competition is just getting absolutely, just none, but it's going to set you back eventually because Google wants to see those more recent reviews, coming in. So, okay, so 84% of people, here's some crazy stats for you. 84% of people trust an online review as much as they do a personal recommendation. So to me, that's nuts. That's just extremely wild. I wouldn't, ever, I guess, have guessed that, but that's what statistics show. So people are basically trusting what you see on online reviews as much as they, would trust a one of their family members. So very important to pay attention to that. And one thing we see a lot, or we at least hear a lot, is anybody out there think one of their competitors just has fake reviews? If you do, just put fake in the comments if you think you've seen some competitors out there with fake reviews. So I see fake, Josh. Yeah, sometimes they're fake. Yeah, both sides of them. I mean, you can see positive or negative ones. Both can be fake, and it does happen a lot. It's not uncommon. But the point being, and why people do pay for fake reviews, is because they continue to help. As long as you're careful with it. It's not a good idea. We don't recommend it whatsoever, but it can, getting those reviews is so important. People do fake them. So you can get in trouble with Google for sure. So it's best to stay away, but we'll show you some ways you can get more reviews. Another crazy stat. So 77% of consumers think their reviews more than 3 months old aren't even relevant. So this one was also pretty surprising because some people might think, they just read a couple of reviews and keep moving, but people don't want to see reviews from like past years. They want to see kind of what the current state of the company is and how they're doing, more recently. So you may have seen this before. Some companies might get like 150 reviews in 1 month, and you're just wondering what they're doing. Well, they're probably paying for them. They're probably fake reviews. And what happens after that? They stop paying for them. They're on their own. They have to get more reviews, or they get in trouble and Google penalizes them. So it's best to do it the all natural way with some help from different tools that I'm going to show you. So yes, they matter. They are mission critical. Okay, so why they are so impactful, I'm going to keep hammering on this. So they do impact your Google rankings, as I stated, but specifically they impacted by, so Google has this thing called EEAT, stands for experience, expertise, authority, and trust. It's what they're pushing really now to kind of establish what gets better rankings. And with EAT, the T in EAT stands for trust, and that's going to be related to your Google reviews. So Google wants to see that you have a lot of Google reviews, you're getting them consistently. This is going to affect your map rankings for sure. It also can affect your website rankings. So you have to make sure you do this. And keep in mind, they're a big piece, but you can tell it's only one of the 4 letters. It's not everything, but it is one thing, you can control and kind of have a habit built throughout your company to get these consistently and, just keep moving forward over time and, just keep blowing past your competition. So 80, this one was not as crazy. I think most people would agree on this, but 88% of consumers do look at online reviews. So, especially with fencing or deck, it's a pretty big project. They want to make sure they're picking somebody that's going to do the job right. And they don't have somebody, down the line, 6 months from now or a year from now, where the company used the wrong screws and the whole fence is falling apart and their dogs are getting out. That just happened with a friend of my wife's. Just apparently the whole thing, they basically took the cheapest option and apparently didn't look at reviews or just hired a handyman. I don't know, but just started falling apart. All the screws were getting screwed up and all the wood was coming apart. So most people do that. Most are going to actually look for the right company. So it is, as I was saying, a major conversion factor. For those reasons, Google Eat, for the trust factor, but not only online, with digital marketing and the conversion there, but also it's just going to make the sales process a whole lot easier. If you're at a higher price, a lot of businesses out there, we like to work with the more established ones, and they're going to sometimes have a more expensive cost for a new fence or deck because they know they do a better job, they offer a better product, and should charge a higher price for that. So if you do have a higher price and you have terrible reviews, it's going to be a lot harder to do that. But if you have great reviews coming in, they're happy with the salesperson, there's a very, very, very good chance they're going to be willing to pay a little bit more money to get the job done right, because they're already paying quite a bit to get a fence or deck. So they can just go a little bit more to, have faith that it's going to be done right. Somebody's not going to leave their yard a mess or their house a mess, whatever. And they can just get what they want and just move on without all the hassle. So I'm going to go through the 5 key principles for how to generate more online reviews. The first one is going to be providing a world-class customer experience. So I'm not going to be talking just about like the digital side of it and how to specifically do it. I'm going to be going into like the actual core of the company too, and ways you can, basically go the extra mile, create such a great experience that they feel obligated to kind of share their experience, tell their family and friends. It's a great way to build your business. And kind of the good, actually, I just read this book. So How to Never Lose a Customer Again by Joey Coleman. He talks about the customer experience versus customer service. And, if you have that world-class customer experience, all the way from, when they become aware of you and they see you online, they see your website, they see a great looking website, they talk to the office staff, they pick up right away. The sales guy is prompt. He looks neat, dressed nicely, isn't looking kind of ragged, all the way down to all the communication, the long-term communication throughout the whole process. Are people constantly reaching out to see if they can get an update on the job, if it's not a one-day job, that kind of thing. That's all going to play into it. If they just constantly keep seeing things they don't like, they're going to be less and less likely to leave that review. A couple good things, customer experience ideas that you can have. Texts and emails are so important for setting up the appointment or confirming it. So I always like to see when somebody's coming to my house, I can get a text saying they're going to be here, even if it's within a 2-hour, 3-hour window, just so I know they're coming. And then when they're actually on their way is always nice. And then after that, asking for feedback. So once they are completed, the job's completed, they can get a text or an email asking to review them. So those are good. Also, just making sure somebody's answering the phone. If you're the business owner and answering the phone, that can cause a lot of problems later if you have to keep getting calls back. So kind of setting the impression first, or the best impression, best first impression. So all these are just little things that you can do that can kind of play a huge part into getting better reviews, kind of the foundation for getting better reviews. Okay, so number 2, build online reviews, your reputation management into your company culture. So the whole team should be bought into the importance of reviews. If everybody on the team understands it and is kind of working towards it, you're going to get a lot more reviews. It's not like it's that much extra work by any means, but they should understand the reviews are going to lead to more company growth and growth as them as individuals. If the company grows, they have more opportunities in leadership and kind of going through the company. That's best case scenario. So if you have your sales reps, your job supervisors, your office staff, everybody on the same page on getting more reviews, it's going to lead to more. Any chance they can ask for them, at the right times, they can get reviews, and that'll just build over time. But maybe, you have some employees that are thinking, like if the company gets new review, great. It doesn't really affect me or benefit me. It doesn't really matter to me. If you kind of go that route and that type of culture, you're kind of going to get that result. So people, they don't really care. Why would they, ask for reviews or, try to get them from customers or, create that great experience. So it's just important because in all fairness, how would they know how big of an impact it can have either? Without it explained to them, they might not have any clue or to see the bigger picture. Just give me one sec. All right. So number 3, I think most people have heard this by now, but what you measure, inspect, celebrate, you can create more of. What you measure can be improved. The reviews should be tracked, every month, every year, every quarter. You want to offer different types of perks to help increase those. So if you're getting a certain number and you say, hey, we want to say you got 20 in a month, even 10 in a month, and you want to double those numbers, put the pieces in place to help increase those and offer some kind of bonus to the employees, a gift card. I'm going to go into some more ideas here in another slide, but something that actually interests them where they would want to, get more reviews. All right. So number 4, keep talking about this, but leverage your best in class tools. So using one of those tools I already showed you, using one of those is kind of the base level. You want to have something, either a tool like that to use or some kind of custom system that allows you to get the reviews, not just like sending one email and anything after that. And you want to send multiple types of messages and continue to follow up. Okay, so responding, acknowledging to every review is so important because you don't want to just leave the review sitting there, good or bad, for a lot of reasons. But if you respond to a bad review, like a jerk or just like kind of are aggressive, they will, kind of subtly, they're going to think that could be the possible experience for them. It might be tough to deal with, even though the person that's responding to the review is pretty much very unlikely to be the person that they actually meet with, depending on the business size. But that's what they're going to assume. They're just going to have a bad gut feeling about it from then on. So I know it's hard to hold back. You would love nothing more to just unleash on that person, jump through the screen and kind of wring their neck. But I really would recommend against doing that, trying to get a hold of them and seeing if they can take down the review and make it right. That's always the easiest. You can try to remove the review, but it's incredibly difficult and Google doesn't really care about doing that. So doesn't really matter, the kind of the circumstances. Unfortunately, I would just try to deal with it, diplomatically. Okay, so out of the 5 that I went here, I'll give you a refresh. So out of the 5 principles to help you get more reviews, first one is building a world-class experience. Number 2 is building reviews into your company culture. 3, what you can measure can be improved. 4, leveraging tools. 5, acknowledging and responding to every reviews. Out of all of those, which one do you think you could work on first? Just drop that in the chat, 1 through 5. All right, I guess everybody's getting shy on me. I understand. I'm asking for a lot of comments on this webinar, so it's okay. I won't take it personally. I'll just move on. So the next one, so kind of continuing on how, why it's so important to get positive reviews, not only responding to negative ones, but you want to know kind of what the arena is like. So you got to be going to Google, typing in, fence company in Baltimore, deck company in Baltimore, and seeing the competition out there and see how many reviews they have. So it's great to have as many reviews as possible. If you can get over 1,000, perfect. But you need to be getting at least, you want to have at least more than your competition and a higher average, because that's what they're going to be comparing to. It doesn't really matter, if you have, for example, say you have 4.5 average and you have 250 reviews, that, for all intents and purposes is great. But if you have your competition that has 500, 1,000, all, 4.7, 4.8, 4.9, that's still, relatively going to be, they're going to view you as inferior, even if it's not true. You're still in good place, but you want to make sure you're doing better than the competition at least. All right, so here's a couple other ideas for driving consistent reviews. Some of these are repeats, but you want to leverage those tools we talked about. Another idea is to have a printed review card. So once you finish the job, have like a postcard that you can give to them with a QR code that'll just pop them to where you get the Google reviews. Also, training your salespeople to plant that seed is a great idea. So as an example, maybe you're about to move forward with a client and you're talking to them, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Homeowner, if we do a really great job installing your fence, would you be willing to leave us a review? Every time they're going to say yes. And then from there, once the job is done, have your supervisor, whoever, to actually inspect it and go through everything with them. Just say, Mr. Mrs. Homeowner, our salesman, Ray, said, if we did a great job, you'd be willing to leave a review. Are you still willing to do that? If you did a great job, they're going to say yes. Right there, you can hand them the postcard, or you can send them a link and even ask them if they'll just leave you a review really quick. If you do it on the spot, guarantee they're going to say yes. Hopefully they have their phone with them, but if not, that's one way to do it. If you don't have that opportunity and you don't get the review, then you call back at the end of the process and walk them through the whole process of leaving a review. But those are just little things you can do to help get them. Most of the time, that's going to get a review, just those alone. But having that company culture, having everybody aware of the importance, that's what's going to lead to them. The more reviews over time. Okay, so just a couple more tools that we recommended, narrowing down the list a little bit. These seem to be really good ones. Grade.us, Review Buzz, Customer Lobby, Bird Eye, Podium. If you're looking for options, those are some good ones. Another option, Nice Job. That's another one we've seen. So if you're interested, you can look into those. And I want to talk about kind of the review response, because if you're the business owner or manager, whoever, you want to pass this off and have somebody do it for you. So you're not manually doing it, but you want to have that system in place to ensure every review gets tracked and measured. So as an example, with your Google listing, you can put your email address on the Google listing. You can say, you don't want to just have like maybe the owner's second email address on there. You want to have one that the office staff or whoever's in charge of responding is on there, because then they'll get an email for every new review. You can do the same with Facebook. So have those people get the notifications when the reviews come in, and just tag one person, maybe an office staff, if you have multiple people, to responding to the reviews, knowing when it comes in, you got to respond. And you can actually use keywords in the responses. So if somebody says, thank you so much for my beautiful fence, it was great working with you, blah, blah, blah. Just, you can actually include the fence, say, thank you so much for trusting us to install the fence on your home. We're so happy you are thrilled with our service. And then you got fence and install all in one review right there, which can help your Google rankings. So there's ways to be a little bit strategic with the responses too, not just provide a good, good image to new clients. And if you get negative reviews, most businesses will, you want to have a system in place for that. So this can be a little bit tricky and can kind of go on a case-by-case basis. So whoever's in charge with this, make sure they're comfortable and working with someone that knows how to respond to them, and different different types of messages they could get, so they don't just respond hastily and without asking you. So that one could take a little bit more time, but you want to record the process and make sure you improve it, or maybe have an SOP for addressing these negative reviews, so over time they can be improved that way. Okay, so this is just an example here, current client, but you can see these guys are leaving nice reviews, and then the responses are nice as well, but they could use some keywords in here. But it's really great to have a nice long message, something that's warming and personal. Basically you can see there's some personal things in here, not just thank you for the great review, see you later, that kind of thing. Have some personal effect touches to it. And perfect segue into this, 5 creative ways to ask for reviews. You want to make it personal. So even if it's not a personal email or text, I mean, those are what because I know we're going to be automating these if you use one of those tools. If you can have somebody to monitor this and send a more personal email rather than something that they think everybody's getting, that's going to lead to better numbers. But also having a salesperson manually call out, like I was saying, and have them to walk them through the whole process, make sure they're happy, that's going to have a great conversion rate. But be aware of the platform they use. So maybe they reached out during for a Facebook ad. If they do that, you want to send a review link through Facebook, if it was Facebook Messenger, to send the review link through there. If it's a Google lead, you can send them through email or text. Text is going to be a great option no matter what, though. Ask at every stage. We just talked about that, the beginning, and then everybody should, whoever's communicating with a customer should be asking for that review and kind of setting the stage to actually get the review. And always want to look for customer happiness, make sure the supervisors know, or the salespeople know, that once they can tell the customer's happy with the job that they did, they can actually reach out or ask them then, not if they're pissed about the yard not being cleaned up. They should always be on the lookout for the best time to do it. If they're really happy, they're really excited, there's no harm in just saying, hey, would you mind leaving us a review and help me out so much? Also, employee rewards programs. This one's, I actually have a couple more examples. I'm not sure why that one's on there actually, because that's for creative ways to ask for reviews. But employee rewards programs is a great idea to help get more reviews. So you can incentivize your employees by a big one, lunch with the owners. If you got a big company, having the employees go out with you at lunch and take them to a nice lunch, or whatever. Just, they really respect the owner's time if it's a bigger company, more so. But take them out, make them feel nice. Also, the time off. So if they get a lot of reviews, give them a Friday off. People will always be appreciative of that. Now we're into some of the more creative ones. The gift of time. This one's pretty cool. I heard of a contractor doing this. They will actually hire someone to clean their employee's house or to walk their dog or to mow their lawn, just to get one of those tasks that a lot of people don't feel like doing. Everybody has them. You can find that out and hire somebody to come do it. It's something very unique, and definitely helps with the company culture. It's pretty cool to do. We are the champions. These are kind of like more unique gifts. If you have like parking spots, if you have a big office, something like that. I've heard people use like a wrestling belt. Um, people pass around the wrestling belt to whoever gives the most reviews. Um, you could do straight cash, 500, whoever gets the most reviews in 30 days, 2,500 for a whole year. Another one heard of, so a smaller company, like 8 people, they basically had a review goal that they wanted to hit for that year. And if they hit it, they would take the whole cruise for, or they'd take the whole team for a cruise plus their spouses. That was a pricey one. I hope they got a lot of reviews for that. But, that's a way to certainly motivate your whole team. And then subscription services like Netflix or Peacock or Hulu, whatever. Those are some other good options too. Okay, so that was pretty much it on reviews. You really got to get them organically. You don't want to pay for them. If you're paying for them, you could get in trouble, and Google is only going to get smarter, especially with AI for tracking this. So do it the right way, use these right tools. We can certainly offer guidance for that. Fence and Deck Marketers, like I said, is full service. We help with websites, we do SEO, we do Google ads, we do Facebook ads, social media posting. So if you are looking for help growing your fencing or decking business, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'd be happy to help you.